Welcome, everyone. Thank you for spending time with me today. My name is Sandy Spiracino, and I'm here to talk to you about animal rights. The rights that animals are entitled to, those of life, existence, and welfare. As someone who cares deeply for all living things, both animals and humans, and someone who has supported equal rights for all, I felt compelled to present this presentation with hopes that at least one of you might make a difference after hearing this presentation to help avoid animal suffering and inequalities. Animals should be protected from inhumane treatment, especially in cases involving experimentation. All it takes is two very important things, two key points: awareness and involvement. It's a travesty. As I present the speech, there are millions of mice, primates, cats, dogs, monkeys, and other animals unwillingly participating in laboratory tests across the country and even internationally. Most are in fear, in pain, and if still living, are living with the effects of lab testing procedures. Although I won't go into all the horrific type of tests and examples out there, I would like to share one story. The website humansociety.org shares numerous stories regarding cruelty of animals. One story is about a cosmetic anti-wrinkle cream or some kind of treatment manufactured by the company Dysport. It's called Lethal Dose 50% and involves injecting scores of mice with powerful toxins to determine a specific dose that will kill 50% of the mice. They experience nausea, they experience paralysis and severe distress until they slowly suffocate to death in about 3 to 4 days. Do you feel this is fair? Do you think it's acceptable? Does this type of testing represent animal rights and animal equality? As I stated previously, becoming aware and more immediately involved regarding animal rights are two ways to help prevent animal inequalities and animal testing torture. First, let's talk about awareness and equality of animals. How is equality important to animal rights? There are different ideologies concerning equality. Carl Cohen is a professor at the University of Michigan Medical School in Ann Arbor. He authored The Case for the Use of Animals in Biomedical Research. In this article, he argues that we do have obligations to animals, but they have and can have no rights against us being humans on which research can infringe. Carl Cohen also believes the consequences of animal research must be weighted along the long-term benefits of the results achieved through experimentation for humans. Does this sound like animal rights are being considered? He conveniently sidelines the rights of animals involved in experimentation based on human profit and return. On the other hand, in the book Animal Liberation, Peter Singer states that equality does not require equal or identical treatment. It does require consideration of all nations. So that is key. All animals deserve to live their lives free from suffering and neglect and abuse in all nations. I favor Singer's perspective here. It's also just as important that man and woman, with the ability to reason and have critical thinking, protect these animals and the equalities and prevent animal abuse. Equal consideration of animals without prejudice is extremely important to concept and application of animal rights. Singer's ideology correlates more deeply to the trueness of the rights for animals everywhere. Animal rights activists are opposed to using animals for medical research because, different from Carl Cohen's perspective, they, as well as myself, believe humans do not have the right to use animals for that reason and to cause pain and suffering to these animals. Think about it. Another way to understand this is to replace an animal in testing, let's say the test Lethal Dose 50% that I talked about earlier, with your mother, your father, a best friend, your child. Makes a difference, doesn't it? Hence the need for an agreed definition of equality and the protection of animal rights. Equality amongst humans is just as important as equality amongst animals. Awareness of how animals and equality and animal rights is defined and used in the real world is the first step to becoming involved and protecting overall. Awareness of the laws and agencies who aggressively protect animals is very important to understand and helps make decisions for yourself anytime you're challenged with any type of animal suffering or abuse. You can reference any of the agencies who support the rights of animals to get support, or you can help you or educate yourself. These agencies, which I've listed in my PowerPoint for your reference, can also help you to report wrongfulness and cruelty to animals. That's very important. There are many more, however, the ones listed are the stronghold federal agencies and make a big difference. Federal laws also make a big difference. There are laws that exist to help protect animals and their rights. Unfortunately, the monitoring and enforcement of these laws is sometimes lacking and weak. Overall, however, these laws do make a difference to the life of animals. One in particular is the Animal Welfare Act. The Animal Welfare Act was signed into law in 1966. It is the only federal law in the United States that regulates the treatment of animals in research, exhibition, transport, and dealers. I've included a link of this particular law for your reference in my PowerPoint. So, how can you make a difference? What can you do to prevent the atrocities of animal testing and to help to protect animal rights? Become aware and get involved. We've discussed ways to become aware through understanding equality and animal rights and referencing agencies that support animal rights. But how can you get involved? Well, there are some simple ways. 1. Prevent suffering and cruelty to animals in experimentation by purchasing cruelty-free products. That alone financially challenges the companies who directly are involved with animal testing for the purposes of selling products to individuals. You can also uphold animal rights by donating to charities or volunteering for agencies who support these rights and help to protect all animals in all situations. Your local humane society always is interested in volunteers to help in many, many aspects for the care of animals in a humane way. You can also help others to be aware through simply raising awareness. It could be as simple as wearing a t-shirt that supports PETA or other organizations that protect animals and their rights. In summary, understanding animal rights, understanding the equalities, is the first step to becoming more aware, allowing you to become more involved. You may or may not agree with me on the animal rights and animal experimentation involving certain criteria for animal testing. However, even if you made a sincere effort to, at minimum, educate yourself, that alone is a huge leap in understanding. I urge you to make a difference for the sake of animals that have no voice. Please speak for these animals and help protect them from the pain and harmful testing. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this presentation. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me at any time. Thank you.